Hi guys. Okay, right, I've just headed up to the first sort of bit of forest where I'm heading. My plan really is to just go for a ride on these kind of mountain roads here. You can see these forest tracks, and there's a whole network here. They go for miles, but if you don't know them, you can quite easily end up getting quite lost. And some are dead ends, some are just forestry tracks that lead to kind of parking areas for the trucks and stuff, so it's very easy to go wrong. So the plan to be is just to head out, follow the main roads, the main tracks around, keeping my eyes open at the side of the roads as I'm going, stopping here and there for do a bit of foraging. I'm hoping to find some, obviously, blueberry. I think we're still a bit early for lingon, but we'll try. Possibly smiltron and halon, which is wild strawberries and raspberries. But yeah, like I say, it's been a funny year, so the chances of actually finding certainly strawberries and raspberries is pretty slim. But you know, we'll see. I want to try and find a boggy area. I want to see if I can find some hurtron or cloudberry. Because if I can find that, I'm going to load up with that stuff, because that's quite rare to find. You need to have special spots. So yeah, I'm going to head up the track. I'm not going to film as I ride, because to be honest, it just comes out blurry and bouncy and not very pleasurable to watch. So what I'll do, I'll just film when I stop, and we'll go from there. I'll speak later. I had to show you this view. Let me just walk over to it, but it's quite pretty. I don't know how well it will show up on the screen. I'm hoping pretty well, but work my way through. Good blueberry picking spot as well. I'll spin you around and you can see what I'm looking at. You might be thinking I've turned the sound off, but I haven't. Basically, we've got some new pine and spruce growing all the way down to the edge of the lake there, and it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And on the floor here we've got a mixture really of heather, which you can see the purple makes a good tea, so Rob was telling me. There's plenty of blueberry. It just reached down by my foot. Famous Swedish blueberry. It's a bit early, I think. I'm thinking that that's quite tart. I mean, it's nice, but it's not that uber sweetness that you normally get. Maybe I should try another one, just to be sure, you know, in the controlled environment and all that. Well, actually, that one was quite sweet. I think it just depends on the bush. But yeah, there's a lot of blueberry here, but it's a bit uneven. He says this isn't a massive problem, but they're quite low shrubs. They're quite low to the ground. The leaves are small, which suggests quite young plants, and so I think I'll leave those this year, and we'll try somewhere else. Yeah, I mean, just check out that view. Now, the other thing is the weather. I know it looks really bright and sunny, which it is. It's pretty warm. But over that way, the direction I'm heading is full on dark pants clouds. And if you look the way I've just come, and I think that's coming this way, yeah, slowly. So I think I might have to get a wiggle on and try and outrun it. That never happened. So anyway, my plan now is to follow this track down, round and down to the lake, and yeah, stop along the way. So I'll speak to you in a bit. Alright guys, I found a nice little spot here. Good bit of parking here for the bike. But on the other side of the road, this looks like a nice foraging spot. Blueberry, ling on by the looks of it. It's quite boggy as well, which is what I was kind of looking for. Yeah, it's very boggy. It's, basically, you can see it here. It's just like a bed, a massive bed of sphagnum moss, and yeah. So I'm going to head through, or try to anyway, through the back, and see what we can find. But you need to be very careful here, walking on this stuff. Let me just tuck this out of the way. When I first moved here, sorry, I need to sort this camera out. There we go. Yeah, kind of blindly went bimbling about like you do, excited to be in a new environment, and yeah, promptly walked straight into a bog, sank, like proper sank, and kept sinking, and lost a camera. I bought a brand new camera. Oh yeah, this is proper boggy. And yeah, bought a brand new Panasonic DVR, you know, Uber camera, and promptly lost it. It fell in the water, I guess, and or in the bog, and just sank, sucked under. So I wasn't best pleased. But so I've learnt my lesson, kind of. So it's proper. Sphagnum moss is quite an amazing plant, actually. I'm just crossing a stream, so bear with me. You can walk on it over water pretty much if it's thick enough, and it's like just a big sponge. But there are dead spots, if you like empty spots, and if you tread on them, that's when you tend to sink. And you have to go a little bit careful. Alright then, pretty good. It's a good spot. A few bugs, a couple of mosquitoes, but not too many. I'll spin you around and you can just walk with me. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, you can see these heathers, lucky heather and all that. Some new pines growing. Loads of blueberries. So I'm going to start collecting some of those. I bought my homemade dump pouch, so I'm going to load that up with pretty much everything I find, and then decant it into my barrel or into my pot. You can see the blueberries here. Just normally I have a scoop. I normally bring my scoop with me, but I didn't today. I have to do it by hand. These are lovely specimens. I should probably try one, shouldn't I? You know, just to check. Don't really want the stalk, actually. Oh, very nice. Very tasty. Now then, back to picking. It's just an abundance of natural stuff. I mean, oh great, here comes the rain. I mean, check the size of them out, look. They're monsters. Right, I'm going to get get a load of berries, and then I'll get back to you in a bit. Ta-ta. Well, it's raining proper now. Quite pleased I wore my ridgeline monsoon today. It's yeah, very wet. But I did want to show you something which is quite interesting. We go down into the depths. Let me turn you around. Right. You can see here the old and the new growth. So this is new. You can see the colour. It's a lot fresher looking. And this is an old bush here. Kind of discoloured. They're still producing fruit. But the interesting thing is, on these new plants, if I pick this one off, compared to the old plant is the one on the left, and the new plant is the one on the right. You can see the difference. It's quite amazing. But I think I've picked enough from this little area. It's always good practice not to pick too much from one spot when you're foraging. Otherwise you kind of kill the growth in that area. Obviously here there's abundance of plant life, but it's good practice anyway not to take too much from one spot. And yeah, it's proper wet now. As they always used to say, wear stout shoes. It's a bloody wetsuit. Right, I'm going to jump back on the bike. I've got a little haul of blueberries, which is good. You can make that into something nice. And yeah, jump back on the bike and carry on my journey. I'll get back to you in a little while. We've got blueberries and we've got ling on here. And heather still. A couple of mushrooms dotted about. I didn't bring my guidebook, but I'm pretty sure these ones aren't edible. But yeah, we've got ling on. The ling on aren't quite ready yet. I'll spin you around. I'm not going to pick them because they need to grow, but you can tell when you look underneath. It's still yellow underneath. Basically means they're not ready yet. But yeah, we had a bit of a monster downpour earlier while I was picking. And yeah, once again the monsoon came into its own. Fantastic coat. But still a load of blueberries here, so I'm going to pick a load of those because they're pretty good at the moment. And I've just ridden past a big gang of pickers, which you get here. You get they basically fly people over from the east, mainly Chinese and all that, and basically they come in big gangs with big bags on their back, and they just scoop and put, and which, alright, yeah, there's a lot of berries here, but I don't agree if I agree with it really. You know, I know it's a wild thing, but I think the thing I don't like is that, you know, as an outdoors person, if you like, I try and keep a balance with nature as best I can. And the easiest way I find, for me anyway, to do that is to obviously leave no trace when you're camping, but also don't over pick an area of wild edibles. You know, because at the end of the day, these are the seeds, and alright, animals eat them and disperse them that way, but if the animal comes into an area that's had 50 pickers go through it, the pickings are slim, as they say. And yeah, it destroys an ecosystem. It can do. You know, and I know, you know, I've spoken to people recently and they've sort of said, oh, you know, there's enough for everybody. Yeah, there is enough for everybody, as long as we're sensible. If you're not sensible, there won't be enough for anyone, because they'll all be dead. There won't be anything left. So a bit of common sense, I think. Anyway, that's enough moaning. So I'm just move from area to area, spot to spot. Pick a few, move on. Pick a few, move on. That's the way to do it. And, Don't pick ones that aren't ready. Don't pick plants that, you know, like the lingon. The trouble is they come along with their big scoops, and their scoops are huge. They come along, they scoop them all up, including unripe or unready berries. And we all know what that means. So yeah, you know, forage properly. Do it sensibly. It's a beautiful little woodland though. It's a mixture of pine and birch. And probably moose and bear and wolf. That's another thing you need to be aware of when berry picking, or mushroom picking, or any kind of foraging. You always keep an idea where you are. It's very, very easy to just kind of walk along blindly picking up stuff and then turn around and forgetting where you are or getting lost. So always keep a, you know, always check back, make sure you can spot, you know, either your starting point or reference point. Don't just blindly wander off. Well, I've stopped here. The lakes that I'm heading for, there's like a bridge between that goes over a shallow part of the lake. There's a barbecue pit there, I know that. So I'm going to have my lunch, or brunch. What I do need to do is collect some firewood to use in the pit, and some kindling. So I've stopped here because there's a bit of a birch forest to get some tinder, and see if I can find some dead wood hanging in the trees and stuff just to cook my lunch on. So I'll do that. I'll get back to you. Well guys, I think I can safely say I've had lunch at worse spots. I'll kill the sound because the wind will be terrible, but I'm going to turn you around. Now the lake behind me is called Moujon, or Mouse Lake, and basically if you travelled straight down the lake you enter a channel that takes you to Cnon, which is one of my favourite places to canoe. But this is gorgeous here, and I think one of my next trips will be here again because it is beautiful. But anyway, I'm going to crack on with my lunch, get a fire lit, get my pot over the top, and yeah, catch up with you later. Nice. This is certainly the life. Got a chunky beef vegetable soup, a stew thing, really tasty, which will be shortly followed by my coffee. And then I think, guys, I'm going to be heading back. Been out a little while now. Collected a few blueberries. Didn't see any of the Hertron, cloudberry, or strawberries, or halon. But plenty of blueberries. So I collected some. I didn't go mad. It was more to throw in a dinner or just eat, really. So may come out a bit later in the year, like towards the end of summer, to pick bring my scoop and try and get a load for the winter, and we can freeze them, because they are good to eat all year round. And I've said before, they're full of dopamine, so they're really good for your brain and your brain health. So yeah, well, I might do some filming on the way back, I don't know yet. I might just enjoy the ride, because this is stunning. And in the meantime, I'll turn you around and you can enjoy my view. Well guys, that's me done for today I think. I've had my lunch, done a bit of berry picking, made a fire, everything I want out of a day really. So I'm now going to head home. I haven't got far to go really, probably about an hour's ride, maybe less. But I hope you enjoyed it. You know, thanks for coming along on these little trips. I know they're not very exciting, but this is what I do. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, bye bye.